So today I'm going to make a video on DraftKings. Some of you guys asked for this video because of what happened yesterday, and I think there's just some new things to talk about with this stock. And yeah, also it's a video to talk about sometimes how frustrating it can be investing into stocks, especially individual stocks, that sometimes you see very big rash moves and you're like, why is it doing that? Like, it should not probably be doing that move, and it sometimes can be frustrating. And yesterday was one of those days with DraftKings. So we'll talk about that in a second and why there was a bit of a stupid move really on the share price of DraftKings yesterday. But I just wanted to mention this. There seems to be a lot of analysts starting to cover DraftKings stock now. There was a Piper analyst that came out on Friday and actually gave it a $21 price target, which is a 41% upside. I think it should probably be there right now, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it does seem like there's a lot of analysts starting to cover DraftKings at the moment, and I'm not really bothered about analysts and what they really expect because, you know, sometimes they can be incredibly wrong. But as well as that, you know, analysts normally follow where the price target's going to be in like 12 months' time. So if you have like a stock at $40 and analysts are like, oh yeah, we think it's going to go to $60, but then the stock somehow falls to $20, you'll see that the bullish analysts will just move their price target down to like $40 and they'll just follow the stock basically if it goes up or down because they're quite short term really. So I'm not really bothered about where analysts are kind of thinking it's going to go. But I've got to say that it is positive to see that there is a lot of analysts coming out covering DraftKings stock now, and a lot of them are actually giving it quite positive ratings as well, which I guess is positive that so many people do think it's going to be in a positive direction. But I thought it's not really a make or break thing for me, but I just thought it was just something little to kind of point out there. But we're getting on to why yesterday there was such a stupid kind of drop going on in DraftKings, and sometimes this can be the really frustrating thing with individual stocks. So you'll see here the stock was performing okay, pretty flat on the day while a lot of the indexes was down, and then we had a 10% drop off as the market kind of got into the first hour of opening, a massive drop off down here, and the stock was down 10%, and it was such an insane quick sell off. Why did that happen? Well, there was a couple of articles going out here, and you'll see here, according to the outlet, and this was then followed up on Seeking Alpha, that there was a hack of accounts on DraftKings. So first of all, you're thinking, okay, we know that this happens. We've seen it. How many times you see Apple come out and say, "Oh, we think your account's been, compromised. Do this update now," and everything like that. We know that this is why there's a big boom in cybersecurity at the moment. There's always these kind of risks here, but the worrying thing is if there's actually been a big, hack into the database of DraftKings. So there wasn't mainly really that much detail on the stock, and obviously, worst case scenario got priced into the stock, and we saw that big massive drop of 10% when this came out. What I really loved about DraftKings is they did not mess about, and they came out with an update very quickly and clear about the situation. And this is what you want to have as a business: is clear management team and clear addressing the problems with what's kind of going on. So it came out on this statement that basically said DraftKings is aware some customers are experiencing irregular activity in their account. They said that at the moment logins have been compromised because of details, or the same login details, that have been leaked from other websites, and then people using them details to log into the DraftKings. How many times do you have the same password for 3 or 4 websites? I mean, some people have the same password for like nearly every website. One website gets hacked because people use that website, every website with the same password. They can get into all your accounts on everything. And they said that there had been a breach and people had their information, or they had people logged into the accounts with their passwords and taken out some money of their accounts, and there was no direct breach into the DraftKings system, which would make sense because they said that we have identified less than $300,000, not million, $300,000 of funds that were affected. So that wasn't really a major amount for a company like DraftKings, and that would obviously confirm that it's not really a hacking in the system, because if it was a hacking in the system, loads of accounts would have been affected and it'd be more than 300,000. So it was good to see that there wasn't really a DraftKings system. It was kind of another system, an external system that would have happened to. Obviously not a positive situation, but obviously damage limitation for DraftKings there, and that was dealt with swiftly. And they also said that if they need help, contact the support site. But it was frustrating to see that this was no fault of DraftKings, and also that it was only 300,000 of customers' accounts that was affected. And then we saw that amount affected, and somehow that translated to, at this point here, 600 million wiped off the valuation of this company. So a 300k issue wiped 600 million market cap of the business, which is just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I think when people started realizing that, you can see here the stock did rally up 5%, but still it was not near where it opened up, which was frustrating. So the positive that when that came out, it balanced out a little bit on the share price, but it's still frustrating to see that something like this, that how many, I remember Flutter had a major one last year, I believe it was. They had a massive issue with accounts and accounts being accessed. There's so many businesses that have this, and as long as they deal with it correctly, it doesn't really harm the business in the long term. Like I said earlier, the amount of times that it's happened with Apple, and you would have probably no hesitation to go, or for most people, you wouldn't have a hesitation to get another Apple iPhone, as long as it's very well dealt with. It is frustrating to see these sort of things happen, and this is unfortunately the day-to-day short-term stuff that sometimes you have to put up with, especially it's even more volatile in like a stock like DraftKings right now. I mean, do you remember when HIMS drops like 10% on a day because an analyst came out and said, we don't expect them to meet their expectations in the next quarter, and the stock like lost 10% on the day, and then HIMS came out with their Q3 earnings and they were like insanely, unbelievably good, like probably the strongest quarter in the company's history, and it was like, well, that was a load of rubbish, wasn't it? So yeah, it's just unfortunately one of those things that you kind of have to just ride with, and it is stupid, it is frustrating. It's frustrating that a 300k issue that wasn't really a DraftKings fault then wiped off 600 million on the market cap. It's stupid, but unfortunately this is what you have to go through as an individual investor, and yeah, you just got to take it on the chin and realize that probably it could be a buying opportunity, or we will see investors come in, or in the long term they realize, forget about this and realize that was a stupid drop. So yeah, I could go through the last few years I've been investing and tell you a lot of stories like this where stupid things have taken things off share price, and a few years later you go, oh, do you remember when so and so happened, and it wiped so much off the market cap. So yeah, I thought I'd just mention that anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, guys, and catch you in a bit.